All right, Pi Network pioneers, today we're diving into one of the most critical turning points in the Pi Network journey, the KYC deadline. That's right, it's here, and it could mean everything for the Pi you've worked so hard to earn. Imagine this, all those taps, all those hours mining Pi potentially gone if KYC isn't completed by the deadline. But why is this such a big deal? Why is this deadline so crucial for each of us in the Pi community? We'll break down everything you need to know about what KYC really means, how it impacts the Pi network, and what might happen to all that unverified Pi out there. Now, let me know. Have you completed your KYC? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you haven't caught up on the latest Pi network developments, be sure to check out my previous videos. Link in the description. Also, while you're down there, type Pi network to the moon, and add your country's name so we know where you're joining us from. And of course, if you love these updates and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe to keep the Pi community growing strong. Quick reminder though, this video is for entertainment only and is not investment advice of any kind. With that, let's dive in and get started on this must-know update. Now, why all the fuss about KYC? After all, you've been mining Pi just fine so far, right? Well, KYC, or Know Your Customer, is a key process in the financial world. It's how companies and networks make sure their users are real people, not bots or fake accounts. It's the system's way of saying, show us you're legit. For Pi Network, KYC is crucial for creating an honest and transparent community. Pi's vision is a decentralized digital currency with value, and for that value to grow, the network needs to be filled with verified, trustworthy individuals. It's a measure to make sure Pi is fairly distributed and not stockpiled by people with multiple accounts or fraudulent intentions. Let's say you've been diligently mining Pi, perhaps for months or even years. Your balance has grown and you're excited about what's next for this digital currency. But here's the kicker. If you don't complete KYC by the deadline, your Pi balance could vanish. Poof! Gone. The Pi core team hasn't detailed exactly how losing Pi would work, whether it's a permanent deletion or a redistribution within the network, but they're clear on one thing. Unverified balances are at risk. Let that sink in. This isn't a drill, and it's not something to shrug off if you value what you've accumulated. Getting through KYC should be high on your to-do list. But what if you're all set with your KYC, but others in your network aren't? Pi has built a unique reward system based on referrals and security circles, meaning you earn extra Pi if people you've invited and those in your circle also verify their accounts. It's a web of connections. So the big question is, if someone in that web doesn't complete KYC, does it impact your rewards? Right now, there are two major theories circulating in the Pi community. In one scenario, if someone in your network doesn't verify, it only affects their own Pi balance. Your rewards from them are safe and sound as long as you're verified. This would be the more forgiving approach since it protects those who've gone through KYC themselves, even if their network is incomplete. But then, there's a stricter approach. If someone you referred or someone in your security circle doesn't complete KYC, you could lose the rewards tied to them. In this case, every user in your network becomes a critical piece of your Pi holdings puzzle. It's a more interconnected and arguably riskier approach because it makes your balance dependent on the actions of others. Suddenly, you're not just responsible for your KYC, but also for nudging those in your network to complete theirs. The choice between these two approaches will set a significant precedent for the network, defining whether rewards hinge solely on individual actions or on the collective efforts of connected users. Now let's get speculative for a moment. Imagine a substantial number of Pi users fail to meet the KYC deadline. What happens to the overall Pi supply? Pi Network's value, like other currencies, revolves around supply and demand. If a big chunk of Pi coins is essentially wiped out from circulation, the total supply shrinks, creating a potential scarcity effect. In economics, a lower supply paired with steady or rising demand typically pushes value higher. This is actually a familiar concept in the cryptocurrency world. Take Bitcoin, for instance. Bitcoin goes through halvings, where mining rewards are halved every 4 years, reducing the flow of new Bitcoin into circulation. Historically, each halving has been followed by a price increase as demand meets a capped supply. So, could the Pi KYC deadline create a similar effect for Pi? Possibly. By reducing the circulating Pi, the value of each coin might increase, benefiting those who verified their accounts. But here's where things get even more interesting. What happens to all that unverified pi if it's removed from the system? This opens up several possibilities. One option is a burn, where all forfeited pi is permanently deleted from the network, similar to throwing those coins into a digital bonfire. This would cut down the total supply even further, potentially boosting the value of pi for verified users. It's dramatic and final, but burning is a common method in the crypto world to manage supply. Another option? The Pi core team could recycle the forfeited pi back into the mining pool, allowing active, verified users to mine slightly more pi over time. It's like an incentive for those who've stayed committed and completed KYC, rewarding them with a bit more pi as a result. This option is more community-focused, supporting active users by letting them benefit directly from the forfeited pi. There's also a third possibility: the core team might reserve this forfeited pi for future network developments. Instead of vanishing from circulation or being redistributed among current miners, it could fuel pi's growth. Imagine a portion of pi going toward expanding KYC capabilities worldwide, improving the network's infrastructure, or even developing new features that increase pi's usability. In this case, the forfeited pi could drive the network forward, strengthening the pi ecosystem for the future. Each of these approaches has its own impact. Burning would likely create a sense of scarcity and exclusivity, but it's also irreversible. Redistributing to the mining pool is more of a direct reward to users but might not create as strong a scarcity effect. And reserving for network growth is forward-thinking, but it would depend on how effectively and transparently the Pi core team manages those funds. At the heart of it all, this KYC deadline isn't just about individual accounts. It's about creating a stronger, more robust Pi network. Imagine a network where every Pi user is verified and accountable. This builds trust and paves the way for Pi to become a reliable currency, trusted by businesses and users alike. If every Pi holder is a verified individual, the network would gain credibility, creating the foundation for Pi to become a currency people could truly depend on. Just think, this strict KYC policy could be the gateway for Pi to move from a theoretical currency to one that's widely adopted. Businesses could have more confidence in accepting Pi, knowing that every transaction connects to a verified, genuine user. And for individual users, there's a sense of security in knowing that they're part of a trusted community. This deadline, though it may feel like a hurdle, has the potential to transform Pi from a digital experiment to a global, everyday currency. The stakes are high, and this is a pivotal moment for Pi's future. Those who stick with it, complete KYC, and encourage their network to do the same, could find themselves holding a piece of a stronger, more valuable Pi network. This KYC deadline isn't just a final step in mining Pi. It's a first step toward building a digital currency with staying power and real-world value. In the end, what will happen to Pi if users fail to complete KYC? We don't have all the answers yet, but one thing's for sure. This moment marks a defining chapter for Pi Network with lasting implications for everyone involved. Alright, Pi Network pioneers, today we've covered the all-important KYC deadline and why it's such a crucial step for the future of Pi. Completing KYC isn't just about verifying your own account, it's a safeguard for your Pi balance, and a step toward making Pi a trustworthy, valuable digital currency. We explored the potential consequences if this deadline is missed, from losing unverified Pi balances to the impact on the overall Pi supply, and how all of this could influence Pi's future value. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to show your support and help us keep bringing you the latest updates on Pi Network. We're building a strong community here, and every bit of support helps us continue sharing insights that empower the Pi community. Now here's a question for you. Have you completed your KYC? Let us know in the comments below, and if you have any thoughts, insights, or questions about today's topic, feel free to drop them there as well. We love hearing from our Pi family and engaging in these important discussions. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.